Hello viewers, Super GT here. So this is a video on the Kart Sim. So it's an add-on for rFactor 2. Now you may or may not know, I've done karting for quite a long time now, since I was about 10 years old. I think it'll be worth a try giving this sim a go, see exactly how realistic it is. My experience of kart sims isn't massive, but the ones I have played, it's never really been that great. A lot of games do have kart racing in them, but the way that they handle is often quite a long way off reality. So we're going to give it a go here. The karts you can choose are, so you have the X30, which is a popular class now in the UK, and also you have like the rental, looks like a pro kart. To begin with, I'll go with I'll go with the X30, and the track, well, there's a couple of tracks you get. So Buckmore Park, Glanigors in Wales, and PF International. Buckmore Park, I live quite close to it. I've done countless laps, so we're going to give this one a go first. So here we are then, Buckmore Park, one of the premier karting venues in the United Kingdom, and one I've done many laps, probably about thousands of laps, and well, I'm only really bigging myself up here to fail, I suppose. Now, again, kart sims are not something I've really done a lot of, so this could go very badly, could go very well. I know the track very well, of course, driven it countless amount of times. I've never driven an X30 kart though in real life, but I have driven karts that are off similar pace. I've driven like Rotax Max, I've driven Birla easy karts, so they're about the same kind of speed as an X30. You're looking about 39-second, 40-second lap around here. So there's the formation lap. Is it a green flag? Yes it is. Starting second on the grid. Now I have had to play around with the settings. In fact, let's let a couple of the karts go past here, so we can have a look at the AI as well, see how good the AI is. Now, the main thing about karting compared to a real race car is that you feel so much of it through the seat, and obviously I can't get that sensation playing the game or playing the sim. So there is obviously that lack of feel as I go for a massive lock up into that Garda, that corner. This is the final corner, Cafe Curve, very fast flowing corner, blind entry, and going over the curves I couldn't really quite feel that as I almost spun. So this is hairpin 1. On the brakes, very sensitive. I have changed them a little bit. I changed the settings a tiny amount. I think with any sim though, you can't really go in and expect it to be perfect straight off the bat. You do normally have to play around quite a while to get the settings exactly as you want them. So then down the hill into paddock bend here, and then this is a good overtaking opportunity on the lap. This is Garda. I've gone a little bit wide. He's cut me back there, but I'm going to get up the inside and then once again into the final corner on the track. Let's go for a fast lap here, if we can, almost spinning on that curve once again. So it's actually very twitchy. I suppose real karts are quite twitchy. They can turn pretty much on their own axis, but you do have to be extremely smooth in this kart. So it really does depend on the car you're driving. The way that you drive them is very different. Like a rental car, you don't drive it the same as one of these. These got so much grip that you have to be so smooth to really maintain all the speed. It's really hard though to be completely smooth. I'm having to kind of lift off where I normally wouldn't on this kind of track. So there's a 40.5 there, very wide. I suppose this is true of most sims. When it's, of course, I can't feel everything. The force feedback is doing its best, the best it can do, but it can't translate everything through. So a little bit wide into Paddock Hill bend, and again you get that snap oversteer, which I can't quite feel it before it happens. So I can't really correct it before it happens, or before I sense it's going to happen. So that lap is going to be a little bit slower, 41.1. I can be fairly consistent with that. 2 laps within 6 tenths. Although in like real karting, you're going to want to be within 2 tenths at least. That's hairpin 2 onto the S's here. Should be flat out. Sime sweep should be flat out once again, but I'm having to lift and then into the barrier. I've got such a big lead here, it doesn't matter though. So that obviously hasn't gone very well, very twitchy. And into Garda once again, final corner. Pretty much the final corner on the track, I'd say, because this one here and Cafe are normally flat out and you can't really overtake around them. It's going to be a first place. That was on the default AI difficulty, so I haven't really played around with that, so I could perhaps change that. So now we're going to move to Glanigors. I've also driven this track. It's in North Wales. Very high speed circuit, and then the final sector is very twisty and technical. We're going to give it a go in the same kart as well. So I'm going to crank up the AI difficulty a little bit. It was on about 95, 96. Just go over 100. Let's go 101%. Okay, so this is Glanigors, or GYG for short, in Wales. Very good circuit actually. Really fast section to begin with. Very long straight. So it's just the formation lap here. Up behind H Scott 45. Like this track, I mean, I've only driven Club 100 karts around here. I haven't driven like anything faster than that. Now, if you do want to have a look at my karting videos, they're on my second channel, which is linked in the description. So you might want to have a look at that. What I would say about this sim is that the modelling of the circuit, or the circuits, is very good. I can't say anything about PF because I've never been there, but the Bartmore Park modelling is very accurate, and from what I can tell here, this GYG model is very good as well. So you can learn the track, it's just the physics and the feel of it is very hard to really grasp completely. So this is on the long initial straight, up quite a fearsome right-hander here, normally flat out, and then you're braking into a very tight hairpin. It kind of tightens up quite a lot. So I'm going to have to go through a bit of traffic here, down the hill. This is a really difficult corner, and you can see I'm just locking up. So in karting, you can use that on the brakes to kind of pivot the car at the end of the braking zone, kind of pivot the car into the corner. So this is the technical section at the end of GYG, over the curb a little bit too much. So many corners in a row here, and you get the first one wrong, then you get them all wrong. And then that curve on the apex of the final corner is an absolute monster, and it will murder you if you take it too much. I've seen many lives claimed by that curb. And then stamping on the brakes a little bit too much. So perhaps I need to tweak my brake settings there, or just get better, get good sun. So I'm in actual dead last here. So this part here is kind of widened recently, or a couple of years ago. But you don't often really have to go out as wide as where the extra tarmac is. So it's only a 5-lap race. It's quite hard to actually feed it through the fast sweeping corners. That's actually one of the difficulties. Gonna got the inside with a nice lunge. It's hard to keep it totally smooth. He's gonna run me out. I'm up into 9th. And again, just losing the sensation halfway through the corner. As I say, karting is one of those sports that's very different than car racing, where you do need as many of the sensations as you can feel, and that's very wide. I'm going to lose that 10th position again. I can't quite remember what a top lap time around here is. Bit of oversteer on the brakes on the way in, over the crest and then back down the hill. So just trying to be as smooth as possible. I think that's often the key in a lot of sims, including this kart sim. Just be really gentle on all your applications, steering, throttle and brake. It's taking a little bit too much curb there. So just one more lap left to go. Can I just catch up to the back of this group? Maybe overtake one or two of them. Let's try and take this corner flat out. We can just about do it. Some dust. Someone's kicked up just ahead of us. And you can hear the revs dropping as I steer a little bit too tight. So perhaps this 101 rated AI is more than my match, although I'm about the same pace as them. Just made too many mistakes at the beginning. I'm braking too early for that corner. The first of the sequence at the end of this GYG lap. It's going to be a 43, just about. But there we go, that's GYG, and you know what, it felt actually quite fun driving that track. It's just very hard work. Might need a bit of work on my brakes. You can see they're very, very hard to get it exactly right, and that guy's totally damaged my car. So let's go to the final track of the 3 they've got in this sim. PF International. I've not been there before, but they have got a recent addition to the circuit with this bridge complex at the beginning of the lap. We're going to go in the rental kart. I've driven a fair amount of rental karts in my time. Let's see how they go around PF. So you can hear already the sound of these karts is going to be a lot different, and obviously going to be a lot slower. So this is the formation lap. So let's have a quick reconnaissance of this circuit. I mean, I've seen many videos of it. You've got this long left-hander here, and then it feeds onto the bridge that goes back over. You sweep to the right, and then you rejoin. That's the original first corner there, and we're going down towards the first hairpin. It's actually a similar layout. This section here is similar to Buckmore Park, just a little bit longer between the corners. So the car obviously a little bit slower here, but just need to be a bit more smooth, I think. Oh, there's a guy on the inside there. Formation lap, argy-bargy. So I'm just going to smash the hell out of him. Get myself black flagged before the race is even... Oh, which way are we going? That way. And this is the... Yeah, it can be very tricky to control the car sometimes in those kinds of situations. So I suppose you just got to be so smooth that doesn't happen in the first place. Okay, so that was such a poor formation lap, they're going to make us go again. Okay, here we go. Pole position. I'm going to tuck in already behind this guy. Maybe I need someone in front. Sometimes it's better in karting to have someone in front for a little bit, always carrying a lot more speed than me through there. You can kind of just get into the race, follow someone, get used to the lines. Leading from the front can be very difficult actually. So this guy's actually flying away already. I'm not sure exactly where to brake here, just before that marshal post. You see the massive kick of oversteer on the brakes, and I think someone hit me from behind. So this update, it's a DLC as part of rFactor 2. I've not made a video on rFactor 2, but this kart sim did stand out to me, as I do, or I have done karting since I was very young. Take that flat out as we can. So this tightens up, and you can see there, just when as I'm trying to face the wrong way and just get in everyone's way. I'm going to take a shortcut here. Probably get a black flag. Get a virtual black flag, oh well. So I think I need to do a little bit more practice, but then again, that's what I'm doing right now, I suppose. So this is easily flat out, this first sequence. Maybe not so in the X30. So overall, just it's very twitchy, very hard to control at times. If you just keep it nice and smooth, then the car does go around very nicely. Would I rely on this for practice of, let's say I did karting in like X30s and I wanted to practice the circuit? Probably not. I think the best practice for karting is just to do karting, like actual racing. But I mean, I suppose if you're going to go to a track for the first time, then why not just do like a couple of laps just to get used to sort of the layout before you go there. But I mean, most drivers, if you're somewhat competent in the car, you'll be able to get to grips with it, excuse the pun, fairly quickly. And you can see that at low speed, This is the problem. I think this is common in a fair amount of sims actually. It can be very difficult to get one setting which works for high speed corners and low speed change of direction. So that is something to consider. Some people went into the pits there, so I'm up into 5th. Quite tricky, complex this. This is a new section. I'm not sure when exactly it was built, a couple of years ago at least. So you see there's a snap of oversteer. I'm losing time. You see there's the time delta top of the screen. So a little bit too late on the brakes there actually. And obviously I need to work on my technique. This is something about karting sims that's very hard to grasp or get correct. You really do need all that feel that you can get. Some drivers, I suppose I'm one of them, I rely very much on the feel of the car. And if it's not exactly to my liking, then I don't drive very well at all. If at all. So he's going into the pits. So they're a little bit more gentle on steering that time around and going around there a lot better. So this final corner should be flat out. So I'm in first, but not through ability, more through everyone else just pitting. I'm just wondering if I'm going to run out of fuel here or something in a minute. Okay, so I've been taken for first with 1 lap to go. Let's see if we can go about getting that back. These AI are very quick though, very smooth. And that's the one thing, it's hard to be smooth. Okay, 1 lap to go. Let's try and set a good lap. What's my best so far? 1:18. So it's a fairly lengthy lap, especially with this addition to the first sector. Just be try and be as smooth as possible through here. And just you have to correct things so early. That's the thing in karting, or I suppose any motorsport. Just correct it as soon as you can sense that it's going to go wrong. Minimise that time loss. So I've actually kept up somewhat with this guy, 2 seconds up on the time delta, so going well on this lap, and I've gained through that second hairpin. Is it going to be enough? Probably not, but we shall see. You can take a fair amount of curb and it kind of responds okay. The X30 a lot more difficult over the curbs to control, but that's probably to be expected. These cars are a lot heavier. I mean, they're rental cars, so they get it all wrong again. They're rental cars. They're going to take a battering from corporate people who are going for the first time and just smashing up their mates. There we go. Going to finish second, probably mainly as everyone pitted and I didn't. Let's go for this jump. Let's see what happens. That's quite a good shortcut actually. Maybe I'll just take that next time. But there we go, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video as always. Do let me know your thoughts. If you've played the kart sim or if you do kart racing, let me know in the comments section. Just any chat, any discussion you want to make, then obviously just make it. I'll try to reply to as many comments as I can. So the kart sim, it's actually probably the best one I've played. It's the best kart sim I've played, although I haven't played many. I must admit that. Is it totally realistic? It's not, but it's getting there. They do use this for the Super 1 series, so I suppose there must be some sort of merit on this game, and I suppose my setup isn't the best, so there are improvements that could be made to my setup which would make the game feel better, or the sim feel better. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it as always. Let me know your thoughts, and I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Listen.